Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our all-Malaysian showdown, the GEST Dota 2 Grand Finals. Now, as you may know, this is technically maybe not an entirely all-Malaysian showdown, as Ken is playing for MUFC. He's from Singapore, and, well, supposedly there may be an iceiceice playing under KYXY's name. At least there was yesterday. Of course, I'm LD, joining you today, and is also going to be GoDz. We're David and David up beyond the summit, and GoDz, this should be, well, a pretty exciting best out of 5 grand finals, to say the least.
It's always fun when you take it that extra level, that at least extra match, possibly extra 2 matches or 3 matches. Playing a best of 5 grand finals just makes it seem that much more epic. You do have the potential for a team to walk away with it, but when it's Orange and MUFC, they trade blows a lot. The last couple of times it has been Orange coming out on top, but going the long haul with a best of 5, I feel it's definitely going to see at least 4, maybe even 5 matches here.
Yeah, it's a best out of 5, and that means you do have some margin for error. You can afford to drop a game here or there. Before we really dive into the draft, as all the bands looking very standard, let's give just a little bit of context to this match. Take a look at the brackets, guys. These are your 2 final contending teams, MUFC and Orange. Again, all Malaysian showdown. And of course, as you've talked about, GoDz, a bit of a grudge match. Lots of history between these 2 teams coming into this match. And you know, it's not just about this match, though. After this match, whoever wins, well, there is an extra $500 at stake. The winner gets $1,000. The runner-up gets $500. A total of $1,500 in prize pool. But then we will have a subsequent tournament with these 2 teams and LGD and another Chinese team yet to be confirmed. DK is currently who they're looking at. I think IG was originally confirmed, but looks like it may be someone else. So it'll be 2 Chinese teams and 2 Malaysian teams, and that should be a fantastic follow-up GEST Dota 2 event. But for now, it is all about MUFC versus Orange.
MUFC versus Orange, and both these 2 teams will get to play in that subsequent tournament, so it'll be really exciting to see. Maybe I may have to go whisper in their ear to let LGD play a match as a honorary Chinese team, maybe, but who knows what we'll see. This is Orange versus MUFC, though, best of 5 action, and well, what better way to end the tournament? It seems to be quite a regular way to end these Southeast Asian tournaments. These 2 teams have pretty much established themselves as the 2 best teams in Southeast Asia over the since basically the international way. They were at the international, you had Zenith as well, but the new Zenith without iceiceice, without HYHY playing doesn't seem to be quite as strong. Although iceiceice did play yesterday, it wasn't enough to bring down MUFC. So we do have Orange and MUFC. We'll start looking at this draft here. Orange are playing over on that Radiant side. They do have the first pick up against MUFC, playing from the Dire side in this game, when it'll be interesting to see what strategies they want to pull out here at the Grand Finals.
Yeah, that should be interesting. We also have me with some serious lag, almost disconnected from the game, hopefully. Knocking on wood, my desk is real wood. That won't actually happen when the game kicks off. And like you said, a bit of an interesting draft. First of all, the Darkseer getting through the pool to begin with. And then MUFC, the ones to pick up the Queen of Pain. And we've talked about this. When you play against Orange, you pick Queen of Pain. Sure, MUFC like to run the hero, but it's also denying Mushi, one of his favorites. And who will he turn to this game? Will it be potentially a Mushi Sven? It seems like more of a Yamateh hero, but you know, we saw the Mushi Shadow Fiend, something which normally would be Yamateh's. These guys, as we've talked about, they can swap back and forth. Generally, we see Yamateh in the safe lane and Mushi mid nowadays, but as far as which heroes go where, well, that's a little more open-ended.
Yeah, and Mushi, in an interview, he actually said that it's not just going to be him on the mid lane. Maybe at the G1 League Finals, we may see Yamateh playing some heroes there, depending on what they pick, depending on what kind of draft they're going for. So they are versatile in that way. MUFC here, they picked up a Chen as well as the Jakiro as their 2 supports to go with that Queen of Pain pick, something they want to deny from Mushi picking up. So we're going to see Ling on that Chen. He loves to play those sort of micro-intensive heroes in the jungle, and MUFC are a team who they sort of have their set roles with Net and Ling playing support, but every now and then it'll be something like, I believe is it Net or Ling who plays the lifesteal, or one of those guys plays their lifesteal. So
it's Net.
Yeah, Net goes from hard support to playing a lifestealer carry just like that. It's a pretty impressive team. You've got Sharky who will sometimes switch to support roles. They really do mix up their roles. Generally, Ken is playing that hard carry, though. They're one Singaporean player, so we'll see him take one of these last 2 picks, their main farming role. And Sharky, generally playing the offlane hero, but sometimes he does switch on over to those supports. But this looks like a pretty standard game with a Net, Jakiro, Ling, Chen.
Right, and it's, you know, you talked about the versatility. We often see Ling, you know, he plays the Chen Enchantress, but we have Sharky who oftentimes has been playing the Enigma and the Prophet. So it's not a team who has, you know, a designated jungler along the lines of, say, Na'Vi, for example. It's a lineup where everybody has a little piece of pretty much every action. The one consistent thing has been ohaiyo going mid every single game and always playing that 2 position, always playing kind of the tempo controller. Gods, we saw a very clutch and impressive Storm Spirit performance. We won't see Storm in this game as that Queen of Pain. Well, I guess we could, but almost certainly will be going to him. And I guess we're looking probably at Ken getting some kind of tanky initiator. They seem to favor that for him. Something, I would say Sven, but obviously Orange have that. Maybe a Slardar, maybe a Dragonite, something along those lines, I think, for Ken.
Yeah, MUFC love their Brewmaster. Orange banned it out. The first thing that came to mind is MUFC picking Brewmaster. They're not going to get that this game round. So, like you say, Slardar, Dragonite, both possibilities. They really want, they could fit in a Storm Spirit play, either Queen of Pain or Storm in the safe lane, but it's not really MUFC's style to do something like that. MUFC, they may want to go for the win grenade as a solo hero or even a farming hero that they love to use. They love these strong lane controlling heroes, which they've now got with all 3 heroes so far. Jakiro, Queen of Pain, Chen, once he comes out of the jungle, can have a big impact there. So Orange, they ban up Chaos Knight, one of those sort of scary heroes to lane against. They're not looking to pick it up themselves when they've already got the Sven. So where does Mushi go? Templar Assassin as well as Queen of Pain. That his 2 main Goju heroes taken out. Shadow Fiend, you've got to think, it's got to be what we're possibly looking at for their solo mid for Mushi. Or unless it's a Yamateh Shadow Fiend with Mushi on Sven. Either way, Orange, I think we're looking at a Shadow Fiend draft from them.
I think we are as well, unless MUFC ban it out right now. And, well, then that would open things up a little bit. You know, if it's not that, I'm thinking something like the Slardar for him and just, you know, do a lot of bottle crowing. We have seen Mushi play that solo mid Slardar on occasion. And, you know, it's not really a traditional hero for him, but it can work. And it would give them some great chasing power. It wouldn't be the strongest lanes and might struggle a little bit against Queen of Pain, but we'll have to see. Dragonite, again, another option. We talked about it for MUFC. It could work for Orange here, but it should probably be the Shadow Fiend. I'm a little concerned for MUFC right now simply because I don't think they have enough lockdown to deal with this offlane Darkseer, and we've seen that offlane Darkseer, if you don't shut him down hard in the laning stage, he is going to punish you later on.
Yeah, there's this hero that they want to combo with the Jakiro needs to be something which can also throw some disables, have some strong lane control, and which could be something like, I guess to some extent, a Slardar. Maybe even MUFC consider going somewhat offensive with the tri-lane. Oh, Puck. This is, I guess, a Mushi hero to go down the mid lane. It does somewhat feel a similar role to something like a Queen of Pain. Slightly less farm intensive, something that's more sort of about controlling the mid game. But Puck, even with a lot of farm, can still have a big impact. So Orange pull out something a little bit different here.
It's a matchup that Puck can actually do pretty well in. You know, he's always been okay mid lane versus Queen of Pain just because worst comes to worst, you can Bottle Crow, you can sustain the lane that way, and, you know, just spam that or push the lane out. Maybe if Queen of Pain guesses wrong, you get a rune. But with Puck's increased base damage and with the way that phase shift has been changed, I think it was 2 patches ago at this point, where it's got no mana cost now, Puck can actually lane against Queen of Pain pretty effectively. If she tries to Shadow Strike you and you're quick, you phase shift out, and suddenly Queen of Pain is just not able to harass you very well. But MUFC go for the net carry. This will be almost certainly a net lifestealer, and this could be pretty interesting with Queen of Pain giving you that free Blink Dagger off the bat to initiate with.
Yeah, you've got some powerful lanes, some powerful heroes with this. The Jakiro Lifestealer. Wondering if Net's playing that, where does Ken go? He's sort of been playing most of that farming role. When he hasn't been on the carry, when they picked up Lifestealer, he's been playing sort of a solo. So maybe he goes onto that side lane solo instead. Orange, I mean, I don't think Lifesteal is going to hurt too many of these heroes. It's not really a direct counter to any of their strong tanky heroes. To some extent, maybe the Sven. It's a nice hero to have with the 6-second rage against the Sven Lina, as well as the Puck to some. If you can get the rage off, Puck does have a silence, and well,
oh boy,
this Anti-Mage. I think Anti-Mage is more a Mushi hero, so this is possibly Yamateh going down the mid lane with Puck. Generally, it is Mushi playing the Anti-Mage for them.
What are the lanes for this squad right now? This is, I guess, a jungle Darkseer. I'm thinking they could dual lane mid, jungle Darkseer, off lane Puck, and I guess AM might be able to solo lane, depending on who MUFC pick up. Otherwise, What are you looking at? A Darkseer off lane, a Puck mid, and then an anti-mage tri lane with a support Sven? I guess it works, because the one thing that MUFC don't have going for them is really an offensive tri-lane option. They're just not that strong offensively, which means this AM doesn't need the best supports.
Yeah, Sven Lina can basically just spend a lot of time roaming around the map trying to set up some kills. It's not going to be the easiest to do against a Jakiro Lifestealer lane. Even Queen of Pain at mid, somewhat hard to gank. You can get the blink off before the Sven Stormbolt actually lands. It still chases you and lands, but you blinked out of range of the Lina stun. So I feel that if they do run those two as supports, they're just going to be sitting around the anti-mage, playing that sort of defensive tri lane, looking to use some pulls, get some levels and farm on them. But anti-mage is a hero who, with some pulled regen, with an early poor man shield, can also be played as a solo. You could even go so far to say anti-mage solo mid, safe lane solo anti-mage, depending on what MUFC get as their suicide hero. It's very possible that they do go with that dual lane and have Darkseer played as a jungler. They've got plenty of options for themselves.
Wow, this is whoa. MUFC do pick up the Lich as far as support. As far as teams that draft Lich, MUFC are one of the teams, at least in Asia, that do it pretty frequently.
Yeah.
Does this work for them? It will help against Sven and Anti-Mage with the Frost Armor, slowing down their attacks, slowing down their ability to do physical damage, but he doesn't give you any lockdown. Again, they still really can't keep this Darkseer out of that safe lane without dedicating 3 heroes to it, and or out of the dire safe lane, the Radiant off lane, and well, that's gonna free up the other lanes if MUFC want to shut down Darkseer, and if they don't, well, we know what happens when you don't shut down Darkseer. It is real hard to push.
Well, we're going to be seeing a Sharky suicide Lich by the looks of things here, so he's going to be the offlane solo against this anti-mage farm. And it looks like we've completely called wrong half these heroes. It's going to be Ken playing the lifestealer.
Okay.
It's going to be Yamateh actually playing the anti-mage. So a bit more sort of standard as far as players sticking to their roles, but not really sticking to their signature heroes.
We got one right though. We got one right. It's the Ohio Queen of Pain. That one we got.
That's good. And Orange, whoa, Orange have some pimped out little base logo here. I'm not sure exactly who that is. Who are we looking at here in Orange's base? I'm not sure, but it is...
Is that a K-pop idol or something? That looks like some sort of music star.
I feel like it's either K-pop or one of these like MUFC players that they want to have a joke with by putting the logo there in their base. But it's not Sharky, I can tell you that. It doesn't look like Sharky at all. But anyways, Orange Esports, we are going to see them on the Radiant side. We've got Ice playing the Lina, heading towards top lane. Darkseer being played by possibly KYXY, possibly iceiceice. Nobody really knows. Mushi's playing the Queen of Pain. We've got Sven in the hands of Xtinct and Yamateh playing the anti-mage.
Meanwhile, on the other team, of course, Ken, the only non-Malaysian in this game, unless iceiceice is secretly playing for Orange. Net on the Jakiro. We have Ling on the Chen. Ken, not Ten, not Net on the Lifestealer. Ohaiyo on the Queen of Pain, and Sharky on that Lich. So it is going to be a forgotten relic, the offlane Lich.
And, well, it got forgotten with some good reason. I'd say it just didn't really fit the way... It wasn't that the hero got nerfed, it was just sort of the playstyle change, and teams just really started punishing it as a suicide solo. They started pushing down the tower if there was a suicide Lich, rather than playing the static farmers. Suicide Lich was ran just because of how many teams were playing sort of safe lane farmers and just keeping the creep equilibrium at their tower. Lich, he disrupts that. He doesn't allow you to do that. He pulls the weight back to his tower. He gets farm, he gets XP, and he denies a quarter of the creep wave. His Dark Ritual with a 30-second cooldown, roughly, is 1 creep from every creep wave. So if you're an anti-mage, that's 25% less farm in your safe lane. So he was a powerful hero for that, but for now it is Sharky, hovering around mid, not heading towards the bottom lane right off the bat.
Yeah, you know, it's... I guess he wants to see where these supports are before he actually enters the lane. In the meantime... Well, you can help out that mid lane, even going so far as to block the creep wave manually, then going to deny that range creep. This will make it a little bit tougher for Mushi. Not the end of the world by any means, but, you know, just doing what he can now. And Boot's first Lich, once he hits level 2, he's a pretty potent initiator for some of these heroes. Not for the Darkseer, but for some of the others, maybe able to set up some kills.
Some next level mind games going on between the two teams. MUFC have 4 heroes in their jungle or top, and Orange have 4 heroes in their jungle or bottom. It's absolutely crazy here, as neither team wants to have a suicide solo. Darkseer deciding to jungle for Orange, and then Lich practically jungling as well, just spending some, well, not jungling at the moment, just denying creeps from mid, spending some time with Ling, and like you say, if he hits level 2, if there is an offlane hero, he can go gank top, maybe with the Chen. Maybe he looks for a gank even on mid lane with the smoke coming out from Chen. So I'd love to see him look to get level 2 with the Chen and then go for a smoke gank on pocket mid.
Speaking of that Chen, he has opted for an early rain of Basilius and smoke, hasn't gone for any sort of regen, isn't trying to get the early boots up. He's just going for, you know, hopefully a smoke gank and then straight into tower push. MUFC, it looks like a very passive start. Initially, you think, well, that's definitely going to favor Orange, who would love to just farm all game, get that Sven, you know, some basic items, get the Lina, the maxed out AoE nukes to help mow down those Chen creeps. But this is only
Get
sort of
anti-mage, man. Get anti-mage.
And of course that.
All about the anti-mage. But it's still...
it's the lobby for the Storm.
Yeah, but MUFC, the Storm doesn't come for a while, so they can spend a little bit of time just sort of controlling the mid lane as well as their safe lane, and then look to strike come mid-game with the powerful lifestealer.
Meanwhile, Ken is getting free farm on that top lane, went for the Quelling Blade, and just making sure he gets all the last hits possible. Is 1 CS behind the AM, so farming equally, more or less. Chen is having a very good start. Ling already level 3. He's gotten a Satyr Hellcaller. Might see him if he's able to get a wild, can start stacking up those big camps. Really trying to get that level 6 as quickly as possible. We've seen, I think most recently, Melk doing it quite a lot. He seems to have some good luck with the Wildkins. No such luck yet for Ling, but he'll probably find one soon.
Those money Wildkins will get you that level fast really quickly, level 5. He hasn't found one, hasn't been stacking any of the big camps for the time being, and that's something which Orange are really good at, stacking these neutrals here. You've got Darkseer farming a big stack big camp. Darkseer not leveling as fast as this Chen though, so despite stacking it, he hasn't had much luck actually killing it.
Now he will.
Yeah, takes him from level 2.5 to almost level 4, so big boost in his XP. And there's other little camps over to the right being stacked up as well for Orange, so they're trying to get these supports nice and those nice early game core items, so they're not entirely just relying on anti-mage.
And with these double pulls, Darkseer can just go kill those, even if they're triple stacked. You just throw the Iron Shell on a creep. You don't have to tank it with your hero. So stacking these camps as opposed to others, it's something they can farm now. It's, you know, we saw the Ancients getting stacked yesterday, and there was a game where, well, what can you really do with the middle lane? It's ohaiyo dropping low, might actually not gonna die, but actually not trading favorably with Puck, and this is that new Puck for you with the recent buffs. He can trade blows a lot more evenly than he used to be able to.
Yeah, I think as a Puck against the Queen of Pain out farming at the moment, but Mushi's just happy to trade harass, try control some runes here. Oh, Chen coming in. Look, wants to contest this top rune from Mushi, and it looks like Mushi heads back mid. Mushi gets him snared up. He's not going to go down from this, but he does get denied a rune. Sven at bottom picks it up. MUFC do spot that though, so they know what's happening, and Sharky at bottom needs to just get the hell out of here.
Like you talked about the off lanes, Lich, there's a couple of weaknesses. The big one is you can't stop pushes. The other big one is even with boots, if he gets caught by any sort of stun, he's probably dying. He is squishy. He does not have a true escape mechanism. He just has that slightly above average 315, I believe it is, or maybe it's 310 base move speed, something like that. A little above average, but he's got to be careful, and well, he's not getting nearly as much as this Darkseer, and this is sort of the weakness of that pick. He's not as versatile. He can't just go farm the jungle.
Yeah, it's not going to be as easy for MUFC here, and as a result, they're falling behind in terms of early game XP, and slightly as far as gold goes, but they're solo, like Queen of Pain at mid, doing well enough against the Puck with just the 7 creeps. This is almost reminiscent of Mushi with SF. He got completely last hit at mid, but he caught up. Puck isn't really a hero who'll catch up in farm, but he can catch up by getting kills for his team once he gets his level 6, level 7.
Top lane, the backstab comes around. Where's that Ice Path? It will hit, and there is our first blood. Well, you know, you think you can get that off lane farm, but took way too much harassment. Apparently from Ken, because he was already down to about a 3rd HP before the Ice Path even hit. Good positioning, good awareness from MUFC to punish that, and Darkseer probably better off just sticking to that jungle, at least for now.
Yeah, absolutely. Ken at top lane, he's going for a Midas. He's going to have that just one more creep from now. I'm wondering, Anti-Mage Yamateh, he's not doing the same. He's going straight for the Battle Fury, which as an Anti-Mage is what you want to do. When you get the Battle Fury, your gold gain, your gold paint just accelerates. Midas, sure, it does that a bit, but you just want it slows down that Battle Fury, and that's not something you want to do as an Anti-Mage. So both those two heroes looking to get the right items to farm to make this a very long, stalled-out game of basically a battle of the carry heroes.
Right, and going for that, that's the Scrooge McDuck of greed builds, getting the Midas into the Battle Fury. You can get the Battle Fury about as quickly as you normally would, but the problem is you're sitting so squishy, you're likely to die. And even if you don't, it's just a long window where you can't contribute at all. You can't zone enemy heroes out of the lane that effectively. And, you know, especially if your team's stacking camps, then having the early Battle Fury can actually make a little bit of a difference. So for the moment, the push potentially coming in mid. MUFC
Ice is spotted the wrong place at the wrong time. He finds himself getting snared up once. Ice past the follow. There's your dual breath, and Queen of Pain blinking in ohaiyo. Helps get this kill. ohaiyo actually stuck in some trees here. He's got a regen rune, tangoed out by the Jakiro, and that's a nice little bit of rotation there. Jakiro coming in from the top. Chen creeps with Jakiro, and now here comes Lich at mid lane. Mushi in all sorts of trouble. blown to pieces by a Sonic Wave. MUFC rotating well with this Chen, and they're looking to really bust through this liability, which is a mobile solo.
This is going to be a 4-0 lead off the bat, gods. Whenever we cast MUFC versus Orange, over the past couple months, it's been MUFC winning the laning stage when they win the games, and so far, you gotta say, it was a slow start. It looked like they were falling a bit behind, but with those 4 kills, now suddenly they've got to be at least even, and, well, not even that. Gold dipping heavily in their favor. Almost 2K advantage. Almost 3K as far as experience goes. A little bit over 2K for both, and they're going to be very happy about that. Plus, the Ling Chen are already level 6, has those 2 creeps up, and they're going to push this tier 1 top. And where is the response from Orange? Can they find a response this early? Their lineup's just not built to counter this.
Yeah,
not now.
By any means. Darkseer is sort of going to try and get an Iron Shell off here, but if he gets too close, he could get initiated on. And the duel and snares coming from Ling. He didn't get any Wildkin luck, but having these two Dark Troll Warlords has proven to be very useful. Also helping push some Skeleton Warriors, which can do some additional damage. Easy tier 1 tower for MUFC. Orange, they've rotated a couple of heroes. They bring Ice as well to the top lane, but they can't stop the push. At this point, they're pretty much entirely relying and banking on the anti-mage of Yamateh, as well as the mid-game teamfight coming from heroes like the Sven, Lina, as well as the Puck.
He's got 60 CS in 8 minutes. He's almost 8 CS a minute. It's almost perfect farm. A little bit behind that, but he is farming about as well as you can expect. Already the power treads, the Ring of Health to follow. Looking to be probably that 13, 14-minute Battle Fury since he did opt for the treads first. Mid lane, though, they will find a crucial kill onto Ohaiyo, set up by the backstab of xtinct, who continues to make plays for his team as that roaming hard support. Something, you know, I think his jungle play a lot more exciting and flashy in some ways, but he is still making big plays, even if he's just a Sven with, well, 1 hero, 1 real ability to use in that Stormhammer.
Yeah, ohaiyo was staying in lane a bit lower in HP there, a bit silly of him, but the main thing was Sven was in, so there was no way of getting away here. So Orange, they find their first kill of the game here, and that's an important kill, getting the Queen of Pain, slowing down the farm momentum that Queen of Pain does have. ohaiyo picks up some treads, and, well, at this point, just level 8, we'll have to see whether or not Queen of Pain starts ganking or just continues to farm. The Lifestealer alone isn't going to be enough sort of to take this to late game. You need the Queen of Pain, who's a slightly more mobile carry hero as well.
You know, I wonder if MUFC's content with this. Despite the Queen of Pain death, they are farming well. They're holding on to all their towers. They're going to have the Lich ult soon. I expect after that, we'll start to see some points in Ice Armor. They have the early Midas. Chen should have a very fast mech, even with the Arcane Boots first. He's got the triple creeps. Sure, it's a bit of a setback, but they should have a very strong timing window. Not to necessarily go high ground and win the game, but to get those outer towers, to get some control over the map, and then look to outfarm Orange. Sure, your anti-mage can get farmed, but if those supports don't have items, well, it's going to be tough for him. MUFC, they have natural Hex carriers in the Queen of Pain. They have a hero who, through the sort of the early to mid game, can bring him down with the Lifestealer. I think they're just biding their time, but, you know, not overly patient. They are going to smoke up. They are going to look to go top, try and set something up. Darkseer's got to be careful, and wisely, he will back up, or will he? KYXY, you know he wants those creeps. They're looking juicy. He just 1 more creep. He says, please, sir, I want some more. Please, sir, I want some more. And the nets come in. Will he be caught by 1? He will. Second net to follow. Vacuuming the troll forward to set up that additional net. He will fall to this. Meanwhile, no other action elsewhere on the map, and they do get a pretty important kill. Gods, this lane has just been bad news for that Darkseer. It seems better in the jungle.
It really has. His 3rd death of the game. He's struggling a bit at this top lane, and with good reason. Ensnare, the perfect way of dealing with a Darkseer in the off lane. Centaur Stomps, Ursa Claps, not easy to land. But Orange, they're looking for a counter gank of their own. It's going to be coming at bottom lane. Sharky, not level 6 yet, and, well, the Sven Lina, they get spotted up by Shakira. Ice Breath hits the Sven, Link in, and there's going to no stun. xtinct doesn't get raised for stun. Queen of Pain flicks in, ultimate hits all 3, takes out Lina, and Queen of Pain out of mana, but has a Chen heal to help keep him alive. Orange, they lose to a second Ice Path. Yamateh going to go down as well, unless he gets a blink out. He does, but Lich, the attack follows him down and picks him off. 3-0 trade for MUFC. What a great counter gank from them, and they're going to get this bottom tier 1 tower deny as well, if Lich can time this right.
It all came down to that clumsy Jakiro, really just almost by accident, just running into them. And if he didn't do that at exactly that moment, the fight would have gone a lot differently. That would have been an easy kill on that Lich, and now Lich hits 6, so guess what? You're not smoke ganking and tower diving this guy unless you chain stun him perfectly. If you fail to do so, you're in trouble. This I like from Arj. Mushi is rushing a Blink Dagger. I don't think he's going to stop for anything. just knows they need that initiation right now because Sven can try and run with the Storm Bolt, but, you know, like you said, Queen of Pain blinks away. You always have the Ice Path to counter-initiate. You have the Chen heal, soon the mech to follow. I really think they need this blink, and Mushi's going to rush it.
Oh, they've gone in a high up mid, drops a Dream Coil, no stun to follow in. Well, it's a failed initiation from Orange. It's just one that they weren't going to get. Ohaiyo did have the blink up, and you can blink out a coil, it still stuns you, but it does get you away from that follow-up stun. The same thing when the Sven lean against you. You can blink away even when stun's being cast, it still hits, but just dodging the follow-up damage is all that's needed. And Orange, this isn't going as how they'd planned it. The Sven leaner, Sven xtinct set up just the 1 kill at mid lane, but apart from that, these two supports haven't been very lucky. Lina hasn't been involved in any kills, and Orange only have the 1 kill, and I'd say some of it coming down to just good movement from MUFC, like Jakiro being at that bottom lane, a bit of luck, a bit of just good timing. If he comes a bit later, or if he gets caught out and they go on him instead, it could be a different story, but so far, fortune does favor MUFC.
Fortune favors the bold, and so far, MUFC have been a bit bolder this game. Orange, you know, when they're bold, it's not in a good position anyway, and I gotta say, you talked about Ice just not having the best luck. He's gotta spend his gold, he will do so. Ferries out the boots, and it looks like another smoke for this squad. But that window where Sven Lina can just find kills all over the map, it's not closed, but it is, there's a crack now. It's not wide open anymore. It's just, you know, Lifestealer's tanky, Lich, difficult to tower dive, and of course you've got the Chen, you've got the counter initiation.
They're going to try tower dive Lina. They're looking for Lich at mid. Park Mushi goes in, no Dream Call for 3 seconds, they do get off the stun.
This is bad.
Orb to follow up, should be enough damage.
Oh, he gets him with the orb.
Sharky has the ulti, couldn't get it off, but no, it's going to be a Jakiro coming in, drops a Macro Pyre as well. Not really enough damage or any follow-up, so Jakiro needs to get out of there, but it's mid lane. Queen of Pain finds another kill, and once again, it's on the darks here.
Once xtinct, thinking about that. Now also thinking about Lina, who is not in a good position. That's not your base ice, and he will get caught out by the Scream. The auto-tech's bringing him low. Should fall. It's just a matter of time. In fact, does Ling even know where he is? He's just kind of running all over the place. Now he comes back. Meanwhile, Lina gets picked off by that Queen of Pain. And overall, both teams just not really showing, you know, necessarily the best position in some of these engagements. Score now 10-2. Orange overextending. MUFC, it took them a while, but finally they punished that dive. And boy, Lich came real close to getting that ult off. That orb just barely clipping him. A second or so later, the silence is not maxed yet. It doesn't last quite as long, and it's only at 1.5 seconds. It was very close to wearing off. Could have gone really even worse than it did for Orange.
Yeah, it's killing that Lich, you've got to kill him fast. Lich picking up a Staff of Wizardry doesn't make him much more tanky as far as avoiding and staying alive in those ganks, but he wants to get that 4 stuff up nice and fast for him and his team. For Orange, the good news is Antimate, he's got his Battle Fury up now, so really Yamateh just needs to accelerate his farm, pick up that Quelling Blade and just jump from neutral camp to neutral camp, push out the lanes as fast as possible, and really just try accelerate his farm and take it as late as possible. Lifesteal has an armlet, so there's no way that Orange want to be trying to fight and engage into MUFC at the moment.
I thought Halloween was over, but we just see an endless army of skeletons and all the nukes being forced out to deal with them. MUFC, both teams just comfortable with this bit of a Mexican standoff mid, just eyeing each other from across the river. Meanwhile, Kent farming top. He has gone for the armlet. He has gone, you know, just for the most cost-effective damage item, really in the game on any hero, but especially on a strength hero. That damn armlet is more cost-effective on strength heroes than like any comparable item on an agility or an intelligence hero, and of course they don't scale as well, so it makes things a little bit more balanced. He might find the courier. Oh, Ken! Secret Agent Ken, he wants it, but not going to be able to pick it off in the end.
Game close. Does manage to avoid getting picked off here. What an Orange picking up. No Blink Dagger on Mushi. He went back for his treads, so that's going to slow down that Blink Dagger a bit. And Ken, he's got no Rage. Rage on cooldown. He does get stunned once, gets stunned twice. The Chain Stun is there. Lina not level 6 yet. The vacuum's up, and Ken just going to try to fight his way out of this one. He's gone on exit. Couple more right clicks. Oh, the surge from Darkseid keeping xtinct alive, and Ken quite happily surviving this one. Invest into Jakiro, as Jakiro does pick off the Lina. So MUFC just showing the power of this lead of theirs. The item advantage, armlet on the Lifestealer just makes him unkillable even with 3 heroes. Unless there's a Lina ult there, they can't kill Lifestealer.
Can they convert it into something more? That's always the question you got to be asking when you're up against an anti-mage, when you're up against any hard carry with this kind of a start, Gods. Yamateh is about to get a tier 1 top bait. Looks like they should be able to get this tier 1 mid. The glyph is going to be used now. Mushi not hitting any heroes with the orb, only the creeps. That's fairly important to miss those. Vacuuming in lane, just trying to stall. The tier 1 survives top, not actually denied. Yamateh ports bottom. He has picked up that Quelling Blade you talked about, increasing his farm efficiency. Puck driven back from the tower. The tower will fall mid, picked up by the Queen of Pain, and a BKB rush for him. Just wants to be able to dive into the middle of these fights. They don't, I guess, with this BKB, then he could just blink in with Lifesteal Infest inside, and normally your Queen of Pain doesn't want to blink into a Sven and Alina, but with this BKB, she can do it, and she can give Lifesteal some great positioning.
Yeah, it's not a fun game to be a Queen of Pain unless you're sort of fighting on the outskirts, so BKB does make it a lot easier. Puck silence as well once maxed out. Mushi just level 9 at the moment. Needs another point in that, but a 3-second silence is not a Queen of Pain's best friend, as the BKB, it's not on Queen of Pain, but he's been bought, so we'll see that flying out in just a second. And MUFC with a level 10 Chen with the mech up, they're going to go for a smoky from their own jungle, so it looks like they want to just keep applying pressure, keep taking down some more towers. Probably this last outer tier 1 at bottom lane, maybe where they want to head with this.
Lich has gone for Ice Armor. This is something I bring up because we've seen some pros have opted to max Sacrifice. I forget who it was, but I know we cast a game recently where that happened. This is sort of your traditional and your standard Lich build. Bottom lane, they're going to dive onto Ice. This should be an easy kill for Ohaiyo. Ice, one more Scream, and that will be the death of him, and indeed it is. And where's the counter for Orange? What are they going to find in return? They will see net, but don't really... Yamateh thinking about blinking on this, but that does not seem too advisable to me. And, well, there are 4 heroes grouped up mid. Mushi still no blink. He went back for the power treads. Looked like he was going to rush the blink, but didn't in the end. And still doesn't have the blink. We're getting to... Really, you want to have it at this point. And it's not often we see Mushi shut down like this, but they're doing it today.
And MUFC, tier 1 tower at bottom getting taken just by the solo Queen of Pain. They don't even have to bring the support heroes there. They're rotating towards mid to try to defend the tier 1 tower. Orange are going for this, but this could be a big trap. Here comes the TPs in, and Orange need to get the hell out of here. Sven ensnared just out of range. It does land. Xtinct could be in a bit of trouble, but it's the high ground. They want Mushi. Mushi, he's got no blink dagger. He's got no real escape from this Queen of Pain except from a TP out, and that may just save his life here. So it looks like Orange, they dodge a bullet here.
Oh, there's the Chain Frost chasing onto Xtinct. Xtinct is low. The urn wears off. He's got one more charge, but he's getting fogged. Xtinct has a stun in 3 seconds. He's actually just going to TP away. Nice little Houdini act from him. He will escape. In comes Darkseer, surging himself in. Perhaps it should have been the Lina if they really wanted to go on that, but they didn't really want to. They're going to back off, and Orange... I'm looking at this map, and Gods, they're starting to lose map control. They don't have vision. They're down to only their tier 2 towers. Prime time for MUFC to think about a Roshan if they'd like, to think about pressuring that next level of towers. Anti-Mage, Yamateh is gone for the ultimate stalling build. He's gone for the Vlads. This is all about maximizing your split push, making sure you're always at full health, and just getting the lanes pushed out as quickly as humanly possible.
Yeah, ultimate stalling indeed. He's trying to go towards the top lane. We'll have to see if he does get taken out here. There's not really enough damage just from these 2 heroes here. Lifesteal actually building towards a BKB, which is interesting to say the least. You've got the 6-second rage. BKB maybe as a late game item. I'd love to just see him go for pure DPS here, whether it's a Desolator, a Basher, some more attack speed, and a Maelstrom. But BKB for a lifesteal, he really just wants to have that long-lasting fight and ability to just stay in the fight as long as possible. The problem is going to be heroes like Anti-Mage blink away. Puck can orb out of there, so I just don't feel having longer magic immunity is necessarily going to fix all your problems.
Right, you know, even something like the Basher, heck, go for a Scythe of Ice. You know, it sounds crazy, but they have lots of other magical damage. They mostly just need the frontline tank. They need the chasing power. The BKB makes you immortal. You have 22 seconds of combined magical immunity. Your first rage, then your 10-second BKB, then your second rage by the time it's cooled down. It sounds awesome, but like you said, can you actually stay inside of range to auto-attack during that time? It doesn't seem like it, but maybe if Queen of Pain gets something up soon. Well, the BKB has been completed, so perhaps the next item will be that Scythe of Ice. Our MUFC, they are looking at those tier 2s. They sense that clock is ticking. Yamateh has the Vlads up, has another 1,000 gold. Is there anything on the courier? There is not, but the Manta style is coming soon. MUFC looking for this tier 2 top. Here comes the rotation in. Darkseer Illusions leading the front. Leading the charge. Does Darkseer actually have his ult yet? No, level 10, still no ult, and, well, he needs 2 more levels. They desperately need that ult, because otherwise these towers are not long for this world. Yeah,
Darkseer just level 10, needs to sack, probably get 2 points out. Uh-oh. MUFC, it's Jakira getting found, but the Laguna Blade doesn't actually finish him off, and the puck drops a Dreamfall here, but it's just used defensively. Orange trying to get the hell out of there. Once again, Orange, they TP out, avoid getting picked off, and I'd say the last couple minutes has actually gone alright for Orange, because when they pushed the tier 1 mid tower, they got out of there with 2 or 3 TPs. Once again, they stall MUFC. They're getting farm on Yamateh at bottom lane. He's counter pushing, and he's almost taken out this tier 2 bottom tower as well. So Orange really just buying time for Anti-Mage.
Also buying time for that pipe, which is coming up soon. In comes Darkseer. Big backstab, ballsy backstab, vacuum on 3, but now forced to run. It's got to be Mushi who does the damage here. Orbing it over the top. Anti-Mage ult has arrived. So too is the Lich Hole. Will it bounce around? It bounces beautifully between those supports.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Everyone's been frostbitten today. Net is dropping low. Next in line should be him. Iron Chill on this Anti-Mage. That is a pretty scary beast. Are there any nets available? There aren't. He's going to try and chew. Get it? Are there any nets available? But the Troll Warlords have the net soon. 3 heroes dead for Orange, 2 for MUFC. And now Yamateh just boldly farming these creeps. BKB was never used by Ohio. Dat Lich ult, man. What about those bounces?
Well, he needed that because MUFC got a bit caught out there with Yamateh coming in. Yamateh finds himself a tier 1 tower as well. Mentioned the Iron Shell, and he just chewed through everything. He's now up to, well, he's up to 1,300 gold. I believe he just bought something. He's got a Yasha as well as 1,400 gold here. So this Anti-Mage's getting very, very scary. And MUFC, it's a 2-for-2 trade. They get some kills thanks to that massive Lich ultimate, I think. But is it going to be enough for them?
Right, you know, they didn't kill the core hero. They didn't kill the really fat Anti-Mage who's free farming. That's got to be a concern. It also has to be a concern, and this is just a testament to how quickly Anti-Mage farms. He may have been nerfed here or there, but he's still the same Battle Fury split-pushing, mobile blinking farmer if you don't shut him down early. Ken went for an early Midas. He farmed almost equally well to the Anti-Mage in late, and gods, he's way... not way behind, but he's going to start slipping pretty far behind, and... also is not as high of an impact late game hero. Anti-Mage with a big ult. There are 4 intelligence heroes on this MUFC team, something we haven't talked about yet, but it's going to start to come into play. If he hits a big mana void, everybody pretty much dies aside from that lifestealer.
Oh yeah, there's some good targets there. Queen of Pain, Chen, Jakira, all sitting around that 1,000 mana pool mark. Lich up to 740 and just has low HP, so all of those are going to be some nice little squishy targets. And MUFC, they take the safer option. They're going to go into the Roshan, but I say safer, but Orange could look to contest this. They're counter pushing at top with Yamateh and the Anti-Mage. If he starts blinking down here, could be there soon. It looks like it's mid lane.
Oh.
Ken. Sorry, not Ken. 10. Net. 10 net. I finally get it. I finally get there in the end.
Oh.
He gets picked off. And Lich Sharky with no ultimate for 10 seconds. I don't think they really want to take this fight.
The hero creeps are desperately trying to bring this Roshan down. Yes, Master, we would love to bring some glory to you. Oh, mighty holy knight. Unfortunately, they just don't do enough damage. And I don't know, this is Darkseer, still no ult. God, he's just not taking the ult. I really don't agree with some of the skill builds we've been seeing from Darkseer lately. I think it's okay, maybe, you know, you wait until 11-12 to get your first 2 points, but this is another 2-3 minutes where he's not going to have that level 2 ult.
I think we saw this yet. It's the same build we saw yesterday when the Zenith versus
Ice.
Ice did. He maxed out Surge before getting any points in the Wall of Replica. So it's we're not. I don't know whether this is KYX or iceiceice, but either way, it's a similar build, and it's something which makes it really hard to teamfight for the Darkseer at least. His real impact on the teamfight from about the 25 minutes onward can come from the big vacuum wall. So would love to see some points in that soon.
Of course, they do have tons of slows and not many stuns, so in that sense, it will be very helpful, but Surge is already very helpful, even at level 1. Leveling it up, it scales well, but really the wall just wins you fights, and just the threat of that wall. I suppose that could be it on Orange's side, is, well, you don't know what we've skilled. You got to assume maybe he's gone for wall, so, you know, maybe it's mind games coming into play, and that, from that perspective, perhaps it is a good choice, but aside from that, you would really just like to have the wall. Either way, it is what it is. AM continues to pull ahead. Now he's got the Manta and can just start to blink in and assassinate supports. If they're even slightly out of position, you blink in, pop your Manta, and these supports will die. They got to travel in a pack. That is what we see. And everyone okay for the moment. Ohio's going for a Sight Device. This is going to be a crucial item for MUFC. Without the Sight Device, this Anti-Mage is going to be virtually impossible to deal with.
Yeah, Anti-Mage is still just under that 1400 HP mark, so with a Sheep Stick with some just burst damage, you've got the Lifestealer there who can really hit pretty hard. That's why I'm curious why Lifestealer's gone for this BKB. He should just be probably going for pure damage. He wants to bring down the Anti-Mage, and once you get the Sheepstick up, that's something you can logistically actually achieve. But for now, MUFC, they're focusing down towers. Lifesteal's building a Basher, which does provide some additional lockdown for dealing with the Anti-Mage, and they're grouped up with 2 to 3 at top, but it's going to be Orange who look to sort of chase after them and try to find those pickoffs, especially now they've got this pipe up on Darks here. They feel they can take these fights.
Ken is going for the Basher, so is going to finally start to get that lockdown to couple up with the Scythe device, but still not really doing insane damage. And you got to remember, Feast does physical damage, and they have a support Sven. Still, although he's a support, he's got that plus 12 level 3, plus 12 armor, level 3 Warcry, as well as a team that's, you know, Anti-Mage has that high base armor to begin with, so Lifestealer's not really guaranteed to be hitting that hard. Vacuuming Jakiro onto a cliff. This is a bit of a lesser-known clip, but there is a Force Staff. Sharky will end the fun. Well, the one who might really end the fun is Yamateh, but for the moment it's Sharky who ends the fun.
Yeah, and it's going to be, well, for now, Orange, as long as they're keeping their towers alive and have this split push going, they've got an Anti-Mage at bottom who's just constantly pressuring and causing heroes to have to come back and defend. The problem comes from when ohaiyo, who's about 100 gold away from this Sheepstick, maybe then MUFC look to bring a second hero, bring Lifestealer as well as maybe Jakiro with them with the extra disable, and go for that kill on Anti-Mage. So Yamateh's going to be very careful with his positioning. He's picked up a Reaver, so he wants to get that Heart of Taras, get the 8 raw HP to help survive during that Sheepstick.
I gotta say, this is very impressive farm because Yamateh's been pretty active around the map as well. Even when he's not getting kills, he has come to a few team fights. He's driven heroes off of lanes. He hasn't purely been farming entirely away from the enemy team, and it's 10 CS per minute. Sure, a lot of it jungle creeps, but I don't care how you get 10 CS per minute. Your team could stack the small camp 4 times. That's still a lot of creeps. He is really pulling ahead from this Lifestealer. A 4,000 gold lead, and the other nice thing is it's a lot easier for Yamateh to just get a tower. He brings them down so much more quickly with the Manta style than what Lifestealer can do, and Feast is going to help you against that top lane. Ken goes in on Mushi, hoping for the bash of his life. He gets it! He gets it, Ken! And then the Infest. Bit of a celebration there from him. That's rolling the dice, and it pays off.
First hit bash, no problem, and there's going to be TPs coming at this top lane, but it looks like Ken actually gets surrounded by an Anti-Mage. Does get off the BKB. That's why he maybe wants the BKB for when he's completely out of mana versus an Anti-Mage. Otherwise, he can't cast that magic, get that magic immunity.
Yeah, kind of makes sense. At the same time, you know, you could also just have lots of damage and just kill him, but we'll see. Vacuum in. Do they have that wall yet? They do. It's only level 1. The Lich Ult bouncing through. Bouncing well, but there is a pipe up. Ken finds the bash again. Bash of his life. Laguna Blade onto Ken. He still has the Aegis. Orange just really forcing this fight and paying for it. Scream to finish that kill off. Gods, this is going to be 4 heroes dead. They need to buy back, possibly on a few. ohaiyo just clips Xtinct with the ult. The hero support is saved by Mushi. Potentially ohaiyo getting turned around upon. Will blink away. In comes the Darks here from the back lines. No mana for that vacuum. No mana for that wall. Gotta run back to the base for KYXY. Gotta heal up at the fountain. MUFC, they want Rex.
Well, and they may in fact get that 40 seconds on Anti-Mage. Lina's coming back soon, but there's no Laguna Blade. They don't have the burst damage. They had to use a Puck ultimate just to keep Sven alive, and this is a support Sven. The supports for Orange both have their Ghost Scepters deal with this lifesteal, but they just do not have this. Whoa, what a Stormbolt. Hits 2, hits 3, followed up by some AoE damage. Now they've got the Darkseid Wall of Replica, and it's just they don't have the finishing damage. They don't have the Anti-Mage there to clean up these heroes, and well, they just sit behind this wall of Replica, just not creating illusions, not giving Orange that defensive capability. I'm
just clicking through these supports, and just a Mana Void. If you Mana Void lane, that's about, what is that, 800 AoE damage. Now Ken, thinking about Ice, Ghost Scepter, the perfect item along with Force Staff to counter this Lifestealer. Double Ghost Scepter up, but that means Queen of Pain can have a field day. MUFC, God, they just flipped the switch. Here comes the big AM ult. Can Yamateh find clean-up kills? He's going the other way. He's by himself. He is the last one alive, and Chen can start sending heroes back to base, but Yamateh is doing good work. So too are the bashes. Maybe we're going to see some nice armlet toggle in the ice armor as well. Really limiting Yamateh's effectiveness, and you know, if it is all up to the Anti-Mage in the game, ice armor becomes a huge hindrance. We are seeing that.
Yeah, raw armor and just giving them survivability. The slow's nice as well, but just having the armor against an Anti-Mage makes him do such lower damage. And if it's all up to the Anti-Mage, I've got to say Orange could be in a bit of trouble here. You've got Puck starting to build up his Sheepstick, Darkseid, just the 1 point of Wall of Replica. Sure, he got it off there, but it only lasted. I think it's 15 seconds at level 1.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very short duration. You really need that second point by sort of level 11, level 12, and here he is, level 13 and just with 1 point, so he needs to get that XP up, needs to get at least one more point in the ultimate before the next push comes from MUFC because, well, by golly, they want to take another set of Raxes before Antimage gets too far for them to deal with.
The real tragedy for Orange would be if they got caught out. If they start getting picked off, then Orange can... Then MUFC are not going to... Or did I say Orange? I meant MUFC. If MUFC get picked off, they're going to be in a bit of trouble. That's where Orange can start keeping these lanes pushed out very easily. They can start farming up their next level of items. MUFC, they are ahead, but one lane of Rex versus a Battle Fury Anti-Mage is never enough. You need 2. You probably need 3 to feel comfortable. They are getting the next level of items up as well, though. Queen of Pain with the Demon Edge. MKB probably coming out soon, and that means even if this AM goes for a Butterfly, it's not really going to be that effective. And Ohio is actually infested. This is that... It's a bit later than we thought, but, you know, we are going to see this Rage Bomb. The Lifestealer popping out, and the Hex is here. This could be a quick, easy double kill on the supports. Xtinct will fall. Now onto Ice. I think they overcommitted to that 1 kill. Could have maybe gone for 2, but, hey, they get the 1, then they back off.
The one downside, the one thing that makes ganking these supports hard are the Ghost Scepters, at least for the Lifestealer. It does make Queen of Pain Ultimate do a lot more damage, but they've got a Sheep Stickers and commit a lot to just get the 1 kills, and they want more at mid. It's going to be the Darkseer on the run now. He pops up the pipe. Try TP out. Bash is surely a bash. Lich Ultimate. I mean, you've got plenty of time to get hits in there. Not the first hit bash we've been accustomed to, but Ken is perfectly happy with what he did. Mushi now in a bit of trouble. Silences before he blinks out. Well, doesn't blink out. Orbs out. He will get out of here. Ohio not going to find him. The Sheepstick was up as well. Ohio is starting to build... It's got a Demon in it, so we're going to see either a crit or an B coming out soon. A lot of damage for this MUFC side. It's not just Lifestealer who does have the Abyssal Blade, so there's your reliable stun as well for a Lifestealer.
This is strong play from MUFC. They are not really making mistakes. 24-6, and it's a game where you can't make mistakes. If you make mistakes against an anti-mage this farm, you will lose because you can't fight him without your full complement of heroes. The Frost Armor to help keep everyone alive, the Hex to hold him in place, the Bashes being there, and Lifesteal to frontline tech. Speaking of Bashes, he doesn't rely on those anymore. He's got the Abyssal Blade up. Now he's got the guaranteed stun. Hex and Abyssal Blade. This is how... You can't deal with Anti-Mage without having these big late-game lockdown items, and, well, now they have them. This is going to be tough for Yamateh.
Has a heart, but heart is not going to...
It's a Lifestealer.
Not going to solve...
It's a courier as well. Oh, boy.
More damage and just more lifesteal for a Lifestealer. So he's like, okay, you got more HP, no problem. I'll just do more damage every right click. And Sheepstick plus the Basher plus the Abyssal Blade, which you can cast to stun him. Yamateh is not going to have fun here. He needs to get up a Butterfly as well, probably, but that's why we're seeing Queen of Pain starting to build an MKB, I want to say. He's got something playing out. Yep, MKB finished on the Queen of Pain.
Right, and, you know, Lifestealer, he can, if he wants to just tank up, he can just get something like an Assault Cuirass, even a Heart. Let Queen of Pain be the backline's damage dealer. She's a better chaser anyway. She can finish the kills. Your Lifestealer's job, go in, lock down a hero with the Abyssal Blade. Maybe you assassinate a support, or you just hold the Anti-Mage, the Darkseer in place. And then Queen of Pain cleans up. This is... There's no hard carry, but this is a lineup that does have 2 heroes that scale pretty well. And the nice thing is the synergy. We saw it already. The Infest into the Queen of Pain. Now you have some great, just around the map ganking power. It's not your Storm Infest, but it'll do in a pinch.
Yeah, it really is. And MUFC now with Roshan having respawned, they're just going to take the safer option, take out Roshan, then look for their next big team fight. The team fight which should get them another set of Raxes. The one set up against an Anti-Mage, it's still something you can deal with and cope with, especially Anti-Mage when he's got this buyback as well. So the next fight's not going to be as easy as it could be for MUFC when there's an Anti-Mage buyback coming into play as well. And Anti-Mage, this split push is still being very, very annoying to deal with.
Yamateh did, like you said, annoying to deal with. He pushed in the middle lane with illusions. He also took the time to farm all the enemy jungle camps. He's gonna, you know, make an appearance. This guy's like the Pope, and there's a lot of churches to, you know, tend to the flock at, and he's just gonna make an appearance at each one. Now he's cleaned up that jungle. He's up at the top lane. GoDz, I almost think he needs a Hex. I don't think getting a Butterfly does anything for you here. I don't think getting damage items does anything for you here. I think they need an advantage in a fight, having that 5v4, having just the extra hero to start things off.
Yeah. Oh, and here we go. Anti-Mage forces TP back. It's going to be an engagement. They find Net. They get 1 kill to start things off. The Darkseer wall goes down, but probably not the best position for it. Lifesteal as well as Queen of Pain do walk through it, but it's a split up fight. Ice is caught off the side as Lina, and elsewhere it's Lifestealer trying to chase down some of these heroes. He gets Dream caught up. He's duking it out with Yamateh. Who's going to come out on top? Lifestealer with the Bash, the Abyssal Blade, and snared up as well. He can't blink out. He does do so afterwards, but Sven will take a fall. Or will he? He's 10 HP here. The Shadow Effect damage does finish him up. Lifestealer with another victory dance, and Well, the two supports.
Oh!
Edge with the mana void. Gets the Aegis.
That's what we talked about, right? It's 4 intelligence heroes, and it's a Queen of Pain who's got 1,500 mana with a Scythe of Ice. You got to be careful, gods.
Yeah, it's a lot of damage coming out when needed if these heroes get low enough, and well, that hurts. That's an Aegis which they would have loved to have coming their way for this push, but now they're kind of forced back, and fighting against an Anti-Mage Darkseer, if they get time to get their ultimates back off cooldown, it's going to be not the easiest of fights for MUFC, as we've already seen. They need to really get those pickoffs using the Sheep Stick, using the Lifestealer bombs. And
where's the late game Hex for Orange? This all goes back to how hard Mushi's been neutered this game. He just hasn't gotten any farm. This is sort of why Puck doesn't feel like a Mushi here, right? Top lane, though, it's Yamateh. Wants to go on the Lifestealer, and I believe there was... Oh, sorry, that's not the Lifestealer. That was Ohaiyo. He blinks away. I was like, wait a second. Why is no creep infested here? All right, there we go. But yeah, he'll blink away. He'll blink in to the enemy team. This is not good.
Mushi gets hexed up. This is, well, 4 or 5 heroes. He blinked into them. Does get the BKB off, so Orange can't really do much about that. And now MUFC grouped up at mid. No Queen of Pain BKB, but pretty short cooldown. He has used up a few charges here, so it's a slightly shorter cooldown, and they're pretty confident just go marching down that mid lane. Ken is up to 5k gold. He sells his Midas, and this is going to be his Assault Cuirass coming out now to fill that item slot.
Right, again, Ken, the frontline tank, not your damage dealer, although he does a lot of damage. That's not his job. His job is to be in the front lines, initiate, tank, maybe set up a kill for the Queen of Pain, and then you have the advantage. Then you can look to go high ground, but... You know, like you said, they're feeling confident. I don't know how confident you could ever feel against the Darkseer who's got a pipe, a mech, and his level 2 wall. This is a 30-second wall. This is a wall you can't just wait it out easily. And he hasn't dropped it yet, but meanwhile, Yamateh cleans up the tier 2 top. I see the chat saying, game's over, go next. Game is not over when there's a Darkseer turtling on the high ground.
And there's an Anti-Mage who's just one of the most annoying split pushes, backdooring heroes in the game. Yamateh goes high ground without a creep wave. He's just saying, hey guys, I'm here, MUFC, TP back.
Backdoor protection?
I dare you guys. And backdoor protection now gone, but it's one of those things where he just wants to show that he's at top and try get heroes to come defend. Ohio's got Lifestealer inside of him, maybe going to go look for an Anti-Mage at top, but the only way that works is if the other 3 heroes show themselves on the map. And Yamateh just in the enemy base.
This is smart, because, you know, generally it becomes this game of chicken, right? Where, you know, you TP away, then they go back to pushing mid. But he can maybe even find a solo kill in Ohaiyo. No, he is going to TP out in the end. I like how he waited to sort of see who was going to come defend. If that's the Jakiro, the Chen, or the Lich, he just jumps in and kills them there.
Yeah, jumps in, kills them, forces more TPs back, tries to even maybe start pressuring those Raxes, because he gets a tier 3 tower for nothing in exchange for MUFC. MUFC are just sort of spending a lot of time not accomplishing much. They've got the items to win any team fight and go for a push. The problem is always going to be the Anti-Mage split push, but right now there's no split push coming, and here we go. Queen of Pain with Boots of Travels coming mid, your 5-man group up mid, and MUFC's item advantage is pretty significant. Even Lich with a Heaven's Halberd, 4-staff, and Gem, this is just pretty damn scary.
Here we
Gem
go.
With an Aghanim Scepter. MUFC need a great initiation, and they find one. It looks like they take out Lina right off the bat. Aghanim, not Aghanim, Darkseer, Wall of Replica does get cast, and MUFC just with the one pickoff, but this is kind of where they want to be fighting, and they haven't taken too much damage.
The Abyssal Blade was used, chopping away at Yamateh. You can see that heart not really doing too much. Stormbolt will stun the Lich. Lich may die to this. He will not. The amount of void's not quite enough. Chen keeping him alive. Ernie back up. Yamateh gets focused down. Immediately the buyback. 3k gold up on him. And, well, probably should spend it now, but is there time to spend it? The wall will expire. MUFC, all 5 heroes alive. I think they have quite a few buybacks. Darkseer, or Chen and Puck. Actually, only the Chen is a buyback right now. They're going to fight anyway. They're going to be aggressive anyway. Ken doesn't have the BKB, but what they do have is the tower dropping. In comes Yamateh again. Stormbolt, vacuum in on 5. Great setup, but he had even better Ice Pen, locking Yamateh in place, bringing him low. Laguna Blade just to try and scare them back, and over the top is Ohaiyo, cleaning up that Anti-Mage who just fought back, and without the Anti-Mage gods, there is no way in hell that Orange, well, unless MUFC maybe dive the fountain, there is no way in hell they're winning this fight, or this game.
Ohaiyo, the right-click damage coming out from this MKB, gets himself a triple kill. What a game from him, 14-1-9. MUFC, they pull together a strategy which hasn't been seen much. The Suicide Soul and the Lich, he didn't really go bottom until a couple minutes in. He spent a lot of time making sure they won the mid lane first. They said, Yamateh, have your farm in the safe lane. We're going to make sure Queen of Pain out-farms the Puck, and we've got this Lifestealer who can just take the game for us. MUFC, they take game 1 of a best-of-5. I'm expecting Orange to strike back, but we'll have to see what they try and do that with.
I really felt, above all else, this game came down to two things. The Darkseer consistently getting picked off in that top lane when he could have just been safely jungling, and MUFC did not have a lineup to come find him in the jungle. And the Sven and Lina not ganking too much early, and then GoDz, when they did gank, they weren't very effective. Those two factors really put Orange in quite a hole that I think they just couldn't recover from.
Yeah, for Orange, it was... Darkseid didn't have a good time, gave up a few too many kills here, and the Sven, Lina roam. Sven, as a support, he needs to get those early kills, needs to make something happen. Lina is currently been involved in 3 kills throughout the entire game. They just didn't have the kills there, and I think it came down to the fact that Leech wasn't even in the bottom lane for the start of the game. So where do they go look for kills? They can't really kill mid because Leech is denying the way back to the tower. So there's just no kills on the map for Sven, Lina. MUFC, that basically their strategy, their laning, was designed to make sure Sven, Lina couldn't get any kills. They were happy to give up Antimate free farm, but they just want to keep Sven, Lina, and also Puck to a certain extent out of the game, and they succeeded in doing that.
You're right. They had a game plan. They executed it well. You know, I'm sure some people were nervous when they saw MUFC, if they're MUFC fans out there, when they saw the passivity at the first, 4 to 5 minutes. But that was part of the plan for MUFC. Wait until you have the 2 Chen creeps, then use that smoke, start setting up kills. MUFC, great late-game decision-making, great early-game dominance in Orange. Well, we see some of the downsides of that anti-mage pick. We see some of the weakness, potentially, of that Sven support if he doesn't have a good start. MUFC take game number 1. I call Orange the final boss of Southeast Asian Dota. If you want to be considered top dogs in the region, you got to go through Orange first. And MUFC 2 games away from going through Orange. Guys, this is a best out of 5, so we have at least 2 more games coming your way. And if God shines his beautiful face upon these games, or whatever religion or spirits you believe in, we will have 4 more games coming up. But at the very least, 2 to follow. MUFC leading 1-0. We'll be hopping into game 2 momentarily, but that will do it for now. I'm LD, he's GoDz, we're Beyond the Summit, and this tournament brought to you by us, presented to you by dotatalk.com. Be sure to check them out, follow them, and support them. If you enjoy these GEST Dota 2 games, there will be more coming your way soon. Stay tuned. Game 2 in a jiffy.